to the Bible, it talks about the three-head beasts that came in from the UFO.
What those are?
Yeah, it's in Revelation.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna tell you. They're the vehicles that the angels and the Lord, who the world calls Jesus Christ, that they travel.
Supposedly.
Supposedly what?
Supposedly be angels, but they're not.
So what are they?
They're aliens.
Let me ask you a question, man. What is an alien? Is this something that you find out of a Men in Black movie?
Yeah, I experienced.
Okay, so what is an alien then?
Oh yeah, I know inside a little green bed.
So why do they call Mexicans illegal aliens?
Oh, that's from Mexico. We're talking about.
No, we understand that. But we're talking about the same thing. We're talking about aliens.
Yeah.
Why do they call so-called Hispanic people, why do they call them illegal aliens?
Oh shit, I never thought about it.
Right. Right.
Because the word alien just means foreigner or stranger.
Yep.
Those ships that you see in the sky, they're foreign to this world because they're always in the other realm. They're not down here. They're in the heavens. They're not native to the earth.
Yeah.
That's why they're considered alien. But are they those little green monsters or those little goblins you see in Men in Black? No, that's Hollywood. That's just a figment of a man's imagination. Yeah. The actual people, the actual beings that inhabit those ships are extraterrestrial beings. Those are the angels of the Lord who's actually carrying out his orders, his will. Every time you see a natural disaster occur, they're always there before it actually occurs. All right? And there's proof of that. Those are the angels. Okay? Get Psalms 68, and I think it's like, what, 17? Get that real quick.
Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of God
The chariots, which are vehicles. Go ahead.
The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels.
Even thousands of angels, showing you that the angels are in those chariots. Those are the vehicles that come between both realms. Okay? They have the ability to come down here and materialize. They also have the ability to go in and out of the sun. They could go around the moon, they could go in and out of the sun, they could teleport, they could do all those things. That's the power of the Heavenly Father, man.
Right. Disappear and reappear.
That's the reason why the so-called white man is trying to prevent that knowledge and the documentation of the proof of those beings existing. The FBI tries to disclose that because they have documentation and files on them having the proof that there is extraterrestrial activity out there. They exist.
Well, you guys have a good day.
All right, Sam.
Yeah.
Y'all seen them?
Yeah. These two have for sure.
I've seen them personally, yeah.
Yeah, I've recorded
You ever talk to them?
No, they in the skies. They don't come directly down to us or nothing like that.
So when I was a kid, my brothers and I were in the park, right? And to this day, we never understood what happened, but these guys were there, and they had little tiny TVs and all kinds of stuff. Back in the day, I mean, that stuff didn't exist.
Right.
And, I was always a inquirer, so I was trying to understand why they came to talk to us, or why we met them in the park or whatever. But they never really said we met you off of Pacific Breeze.
What they look like?
But best I recall now, kind of just looked like brothers. I mean, they were black, and they were men, and they looked like they were in really good shape and stuff like that. And the way they talked, I mean, it was obvious they were really smart.
Yes. The depiction of the angels is actually in the book of Ezekiel, and it has them described as they have the face of lions, which represents courage. Yep. They have the strength of an ox, so they're very strong, very mighty. They what it says about the eagle, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, the angels intelligence is, of course, different because they come from a different realm. All right? This realm is made of the things that we
senses
exactly. But it consists by things that we don't see, which comes from that realm.
Cell phone stuff today.
I'm saying, wouldn't this be like a tiny TV?
It is today,
Symbolically?
But you know, one thing later in my meditation is like, in a way, it seems like I never stopped communicating with him from the time that I met him physically. You know what I'm saying? And when I meditate, sometimes they come and say things. The one thing that they said to me is that they're insulted when people call them ignorant. They say that's people's ignorance. And he
see what just happened, right?
He's Native American. I got Native American in me too. But I know Native American culture. I mean, we always connect with the Great Spirit. So we didn't see them as people on earth. We saw them as these other celestial beings, right? And we respected that because they always contributed something very important, whether it was if there was disease going on, how to heal or whatever, you know.
And that if I may add to what you're saying, that information is the wisdom of these scriptures. They're telling you, like, go back to the herb that can cure anything on earth. There's an herb, if you've taken the right combination.
I'm herbalist.
So you know that. And they probably shared that information with you. Same way,
you know, the more that I look at it, it's like I'm kind of drawn because, you know, so talking to the brothers last night and stuff, we were like in 2 long meetings. I didn't get free like almost midnight. Because what we're really talking about is like Ma'at and Kemet and all of that.
Okay.
You know, so there's a strong desire to reconnect to what we call original truth. And then to identify what the goal of today of all black people really should be right now.
So what is that goal? We've talked to a lot of them.
We're saying that goal is restoring Kemet. And what that means is the whole African diaspora should realize that you can't give up your unalienable rights. You can't give up your actual freedom. That's a given. That's decreed by God. So what we have to do is just recognize that and accept that and act accordingly. Because you are the only sovereign royal people on the planet.
So you're identified by the people of Kemet?
Yeah. But when I say Kemet, while that word is there, you know, we realize that Kemet still is on the time map, if you will. But we actually believe in original truth. In other words, we realize that our spirituality is beyond our flesh. This number is something I'm going to depart with one day. But who I really am, that's what I really am. Okay. And I was this before I was alive. So I was dead to this before I was alive. So who I really am has to go back, in a sense, before time. In other words, I can't use like America. I mean, when America comes into existence. So even though I may go down and sign down the African American deal with certain people or whatever, y'all know what I'm talking about. But in my heart, mind, soul, spirit, I know I ain't no America. How could I be American when I was before America ever came to exist, before the white man even ever came to exist?
Right. Here's the problem with Kemet and the whole Pan-Africanism narrative.
Okay.
There's no future in it because the white man is still ruling. Because even if you separate yourself mentally and spiritually from him, he still rules you physically.
But that's what we're talking about.
But there's nothing in Africa that's above what this white man can do, because Africa was the name of a white man that conquered.
Absolutely, that's why I think he's Africa.
Right.
But what we're talking about is going to where we rule the world. We ain't talking about Africa of today or whatever.
When was that?
Before the white man.
Okay, so
no, the white man wasn't controlling us.
Ancient Egypt wasn't it? That wasn't it. You were slaves in ancient Egypt.
Well, in history, there's actually a new report out that they totally disclaiming that when they try to say that the slaves built the pyramids and all that. And I know my own research. My own research of all ancient Kemet and that area around there, all that comes today, even in the Bible and all that, yoga, all that. There ain't no engravings on the wall, etchings on the wall, in any tombs or any pyramid, anything of any black people behind bars, shackled with chains, and the type of slavery that the European did.
No, not that type. Because it was Africans. They were Africans.
Dark people enslaved another dark.
Give them.
Egyptians were
the
That's in
example
the
of
hierarchy.
Moses, and he was.
An example. You got it. Go ahead. You got it.
Exodus chapter 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue.
Children of Israel, these people on the side, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. Okay, dark-skinned people, but they're not limited to dark-skinned people or brown-skinned people. Okay,
Which one?
on the side
All of them.
All of them.
all
This is the biblical names. This is what they're called in the world today.
So where's African Americans?
Negroes. Okay. Because we're not African. We just was living in Africa. If a Chinese man lives in Africa, is he African?
Huh?
If a Chinese man lives in Africa, is he African? Or is he still Chinese?
I mean, if I have my say about it, I'm just saying, if I go, what my knowledge of it is, I would say that it depends on what the Chinese are doing, white people are doing, claim since the Greeks and Romans allegedly conquered
What about if he's doing what
Africa,
Chinese
Egypt, whatever. That the,
What if he's doing what African people do?
huh?
What if he's doing what African people do? Does that still make
Well, no,
is
I'm
he now
saying,
African
if
or is
you
he
claim,
still
well,
Asian?
white people trying to claim that, I have white people tell me that. They're like, I'm more African than you because I live in South Africa, and now my so-called ancestors been there longer than you because you've been in America.
He's right. You're right. The land is named after him. We're
Yeah.
not African.
Well, no, I
That's what
got
he's
you
trying
on
to
the
tell you right
night.
here.
I got you on the night.
Go ahead, finish that.
Against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Because I have to kind of break down the difference between what an Israelite was. These people are the Israelites according to the Bible.
All of
I don't have a dinosaur no more. Anybody got one?
Damn, I was looking.
Yeah, I don't have it.
We
got Google.
just going to have to get
Yeah,
another.
but kind of, brother said he has one.
I got
But in
one.
the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary,
Go ahead.
it tells you that Ham
He's in the car.
is the forefather of the dark races of the world. And then it names but the Canaanites, the Egyptians, the Libyanites, the Canaanites. What was the other one?
Mizrahites.
Yeah,
The
Ethiopia.
Ethiopians. But not the Negroes. But not the Negroes. They tell
That
you
was
that they're not the same.
that was a scholar,
Right.
so-called Jewish
Did the
scholar
deep
that made
research.
that
Here,
research.
those are the sons of Ham.
Because, right there, here's the table of right
That's
here.
the,
Because the Negroes come out of Shem. They come out of Shem.
Oh, we got
The
the.
Egyptians come out of Ham. That's where you get
Right.
Kemet from.
Yeah, Kemet goes back to the word
Hum.
hum.
So
That's how you
is
say
that
it in Hebrew.
It means hot.
It's hot. It's hot.
Not Kemet, not Ham.
All right, he got a verbatim. He got
This is the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary. Ham. It says, comma, not the Negroes. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians,
Africans.
Ethiopians,
Africans.
Libyans,
Africans.
and Canaanites.
Africans.
Gotcha.
That's why we was telling the brother was telling you right now, Kemet comes from the Hebrew word chum, which means hot. Because Africa's hot. The land was hot. People over there lived in that hot land.
Where does Negro come? I mean, I know you said they wanted a tribe, but
So-called.
Negroes comes from. It's a Latin. It's a Latin word.
Because some people ain't gonna
Yeah.
get, oh, he's a Judite.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he's an Israelite. He's not gonna understand
but I
that.
mean, Negro, and in my ignorance, if you know what I mean. But the only people I know called Negroes, technically, besides I know in other languages, Negro means black. You know, but I'm not talking about that right now. I'm talking about as far as America concerned. The Negro are the people that they the slaves brought over here, or black people that came over here and they just labeled them Negro for whatever reason. But basically, if you had certain dark complexion, woolly hair, whatever, then they just branded you a Negro.
Let
But
me ask you a
how-
common sense question. Do Africans call themselves African Americans or Negroes? Africans from Africa, when they come over here, do they call themselves African American or Negroes?
Well, the best I know, I used to talk to some Africans.
The fact that you call them Africans.
Well,
tell the truth.
I refer to them as Africans. However, they would say that they are African, but they would say, well, once they get nationalized, they're American. And the America turns around and say, well, once you say you're American, we're going to hyphenate you. And now you become, as you were a Negro with
Okay,
African American.
That's very. I understand what you're saying, but to answer is simple. They don't. They still refer to themselves and everybody else refers to them.
They know their tribes. They know exactly what tribes.
They'll say what country they're from.
Yeah, they'll tell you what country.
They don't even like to be called Africans. They like to be called whatever, even country they from, whatever. Yeah.
I'm from the Fulani. I'm from the Fulani tribe.
Right, but most of them
Tutsi
always
tribe.
say to me, I mean, I think I gave me one of them so far. I just talked to African sister the other day. She was out at the library. But she did refer to her village, whatever she did, identify herself as African. But it still leaves my question kind of in limbo right there. My question is, I mean, mine said that the Negro is the person that they went to Africa, kidnapped, hostage, whatever, and brought over here from Africa.
Yeah.
Right.
But how does that make us not be African?
Easy.
Because we just lived there. We wasn't from there. We just
But I
lived
mean,
there.
that's why bloodline. That's
No.
why DNA and everything.
No, we just lived there.
If they moved us from
Our
Africa,
bloodline
I'm
doesn't go
trying to
back to Leo
understand.
Scipio's
I know.
Africanus.
That's why we not mad at them.
I appreciate
You don't seem like you're trying to play stupid. It's not, I'm not saying that you are. I'm saying you just trying to understand.
Right, but I'm saying they didn't, God didn't take,
Timbuktu.
Oh, my bad. I've been
We
meaning
gotta
to
stay equipped, man.
Yeah, I gotta
keep
be-
the
yeah,
books.
God didn't take, God didn't recreate another man out of American soul and say, now I call you a
No,
Negro.
but he had nations, different lineages.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you saying lineage from Africa?
He had Africans in the lineage of Africa. He had lineages from Africa, the Polynesian them places. And he had his Israelites, people that he personally
But I'm
chose.
sending to the Negro.
Right. His personal people that he chose are Israelites. They're the Negroes. The Latinos and
Deuteronomy
Native
32 and 8. Sirach 17.
Yeah, 17.
Deuteronomy 32 and 8.
All regions of the earth, when the Lord made the heavens and the earth, he already had it in mind what specific lands was going to be inhabited by certain groups of people.
Yeah.
And the land of Israel in particular, he chose that land to be for his people that he chose.
Yep.
He chose the land of Ham for the Hamites. He chose the land of Moab for the Moabites. He chose this nation for that land. That's what he did when he created the heavens and the earth.
So are you saying,
He divided us and gave us our
I'll
own
be honest,
inheritance.
two questions in my head at the same time right now, but I ask the first one is the most relevant right now. That is, does that mean that all Negroes should go and occupy Israel?
Well, really, we're not supposed to because our enemies is there, and we don't have the power right now to go and take that land back. The Lord got those people over there inhabiting our land. And that's a biblical prophecy.
Since then God wanted them.
He wants them there right now
And
to
want us
fulfill
here
his
under the
purpose.
white man?
For now.
In
We're
capt-
punishment.
We're in punishment as a people.
We're going to destroy you.
So what was being punished for?
Get the scriptures.
Deuteronomy, I'm right here, Deuteronomy.
Get Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah.
You can get Baruch 3 and 8.
Deuteronomy 28. I start at 15. It's Deuteronomy.
Start at what?
It's Deuteronomy 28:1. And it shall come to pass if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power,
We listen unto our God. Go ahead.
to observe and to do all his commandments, which I commanded thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
He will set us on high above all nations of earth. But we're not above all nations of earth. We're on the bottom, right? Aren't these people, the Negro Tino, they're on the
All
bottom?
black people over the world are on the bottom pretty much. I mean, we got African kings on
Right.
the well.
Right. But they still all right, go ahead, bro.
It's Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
We don't do everything that he told us to do, that we're agreed to do this day. Go ahead.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So all those curses are now on our people. When you read from that verse to the end of that chapter, all those curses are upon our people. Matter of fact, jump to the one that says a byword. You know what I'm talking about?
It's Deuteronomy 34.
Yeah,
It's Deuteronomy 28:37.
yeah, and the one where you're byword.
Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment A proverb and a byword.
What's a proverb and a byword means they're going to call us everything but who we really are. We're going to have all kinds of nicknames for ourselves. African American, Negro, Black. Black is a color. We're not that. We're not from Africa. We just lived there when they found us. I mean, when they took us captive. But they're not calling us who we really are, which are the children of Israel. Okay, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, all the way down to all 12 tribes. Issachar, and so on and so forth. Go ahead, bro.
And a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead
Everybody's
thee.
accepted them fake names for us. Go ahead.
God, jump to the James.
Yeah.
There's Deuteronomy 28. It's like 28 and Salak.
Go to 43.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Hey, like this particular curse, the stranger that shall come within thee, he shall be very high, and you shall become low. What that means is, these other nations outside of this nation, there's a reason why they're able to prosper over our people. There's a reason why they're able to come into our neighborhoods and set up shops, set up these businesses, make all this money, accumulate all this wealth to themselves, and raise good families, have their own districts, Chinatown and little Asian towns, little Ethiopia, the Jewish, they got they districts. But us, we got the ghetto, we got the projects, you know what I'm saying? We got the inner city, and we don't own majority of those businesses. We don't own. So our people, we constantly giving our money to the strangers, the ones that's coming from these other countries and setting up shop in our neighborhoods and selling us malt liquor, cigarettes, marijuana, drugs, you know what I'm saying? And they getting rich. Them Koreans, those Asians, you know, making a killing off of our women, selling them fake hair. They're getting high over us.
What's the reason for that?
We're reading it because the Lord said these conditions would happen to you if you do not hearken unto my commandments, if you break my covenant. The law, statutes, commandments that the Lord gave us going back to the beginning. What are some of those commandments? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Basically love your brother. Thou shalt not steal from your brother. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Talking about Israelites though.
Talking to these people.
Amongst
this
us.
was how we were supposed to conduct
Not
ourselves.
everybody else.
Okay,
Basically have a...
okay, but if the stranger who gets to rule over us because we're cursed are doing everything wrong thing,
right?
The Israelites did it more.
You're right.
Exactly.
I mean,
and the prophets of the Lord, they even had that same question to the Most High.
I'm trying to the logic of God. Why would God let people doing words?
Second
Ezra, yeah.
Hey, the prophet Ezra asked the same question you asked. Talking to the angel.
Yeah. 6 and like 54, or you can start there. It's like at the end. It's 60.
It's after that. 56.
Second Ezra 6 and 56. It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Rule over us, right? Oppress us. Okay.
But we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure?
How long is it going to be like this? The fact that these heathen are ruling over us. And they're ruling about them. When you said we loved you, how long are you going to let them rule over us like this? But like that's why he read that in the 15th verse of Deuteronomy 28. If thou wilt not hearken to do and observe all these statutes and laws and commandments.
Get Daniel 9 and start at 11.
Yeah.
Get Daniel 9, start at 11.
This Daniel 9 and 11. Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us. And the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him.
Because we have sinned against him, man. Our people worshiping all type of idols and gods out there, worshiping
Caesar.
Where the sign at, man? You know? And the Lord, he chose us to be his people, so we're supposed to represent him. We're supposed to worship him. But every time we go into, these are just modern idols. There was so many idols back then, you know, going back to the time of, you know, when
You know, Native Americans still kind of hold a lot of them idols. You know?
worshiping the
but
moon,
being Native
worshiping the
American,
sun and all
I
that.
can tell y'all, you know, a lot of times, see, Buddha, I studied about Buddha, Shiva. I read about King Tut, but it go before King, you know, like, that's Osiris, authority, all those two Buddhas on there. But the point being is that African Americans people walk in, and I think I see like a tattoo, you know, those tattoo bones, and they will misunderstand that and think that we were worshiping a tattoo bone or something like that. That's not even what's happening. It's just a symbolic thing there that's communicating something. It's like when children look at it, they understand the teachings that that's making reference to, rather than actually paying homage or something to the people.
But the Bible, the Lord said in the Bible not to put any markings or cuttings in your flesh.
Yeah, that was a custom of the
No, but I was talking about the tattoo pole itself. Now, rites and passage and stuff like that, you get cuts and stuff like that.
But
that's more for
injuries is always the thing that's supposed to scar you in the heart. Injuries, and that comes from the Heavenly Father himself.
Yeah, but I mean, when you say tattoos, ancient tattoos are really like cuttings.
But that's not biblical, is what I'm saying. It's a wicked act
I'm not
upon
saying
God.
it's biblical.
I mean, it was a custom. It was a custom that the Hamites used to do.
Yeah.
A lot of them, if they would do it for the dead.
But wouldn't circumcision be the same thing?
No.
I mean, that's
Because you're cutting cartilage, flesh. But you're not piercing. You're not piercing.
That protection ink in there.
You're not piercing and leaving ink and defiling yourself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But the ancient tattoos, they weren't ink and stuff. We could cut ourselves and have a mark that would be to a warrior or whatever stage you're at.
Yeah, but listen, the Most High told us we needed to be a pure people. We need to separate ourselves from the uncleanness
now
of the other
right,
of the
that I
other
really
nations.
wanted to get them. Okay. So if we're, that's interesting, but I'll say it the way I'm hearing it, okay? If in fact, therefore, we're here under an oppressor who's really worse than us because we're cursed, and the reason why we're cursed is because we violated the decree of God, then it would seem to me the antidote is stop violating the decree of God and get it right.
That's what we're talking about. That's everything we're talking about. That's everything we're talking about. But not according to what a man would teach you, but according to what the Word of God actually says.
Well,
that's the difference.
Whatever the decree of God is.
Right.
That's
it's not whatever it is. It's
no, I'm with you. I'm saying it that way. No, I'm with you. But all I'm saying is that way is because
I'm not gonna leave any gray area. That's why I said that.
I'm with you. But
you look familiar too, my man.
I'm looking
I think we talked before. You used to be out on the strip sometimes. I think we counted you on the strip one time.
Yes, bro.
Yeah. I did see you on the strip once.
Yeah, you came by the.
Because, you know, I've seen a couple of different groups like y'all.
Yeah.
But I think I saw one in LA before I talked to them.
Okay.
But, you know, sometimes because y'all kind of dress alike and all that, it's hard to know if y'all might be the same ones.
Yeah.
I got you.
There was an equation I had, though, that goes back in my head about the continents, and then it leads into the tribe. I'm told, because I can prove this, but I'm told that once Earth was all one piece of land. Pangea.
Yeah.
Pangea. Okay, if there's Pangea, and I know I'm just throwing out in this form, but if it's Pangea, and then by God's will, He made people and they just say those original people were black. Okay? Well, there are no nations. There's only people, land, animals, etc. So if we're to say firstborn, in a sense, that wouldn't be applicable then.
It is. And I'm going to explain to you.
No, but here I'm saying, I'm saying, if we're the only people there, then all of us are firstborn. So we're not competing with another nation to say there's a secondborn.
Let me explain. All right? Because it's a deep question, but I'm going to explain this way. There were 3 classes of people upon the planet. We're going to go backwards to before that. We're talking about Adam. Everybody was Adam. Everybody was considered an Adam. Even women before they on purpose to
one
become
Adam or 3 Adam.
There was a bunch, not ATOM, ADAM. Adam.
But I'm just trying to follow you. Are you saying if God first made man upon earth, he made 3 or he made 1?
He made everybody on the earth.
At the same time?
Yes. Yes.
Get it.
Well,
Let's get it.
yeah, let's get Genesis. Now I want to start a little bit before that. I'll start a little bit to introduce him before that. Now here's where the issue comes in. He made everybody on earth at the same time. And then he purposed everybody. He made man to understand. We're going to get that. But what God actually did make himself was the first spirit of the earth. The first spirit, which that first spirit, without going too deep, had other angels or other spirits that helped him create the people upon the earth. And from those first spirits, his firstborn went into the flesh and became his firstborn upon the earth. They became the original class of the sons of God.
So you say,
let me finish with that, which ended up becoming the children of Israel.
so you said originally though, the original beings on earth were not people.
They were people. Everything that you see on the earth, whether it's dinosaurs, whether it's people, all of them was in between.
I thought you just said that first spirit or
The
whatever.
first spirit actually blueprinted it out to the first spirit. The first spirit created everything that we see on the earth today.
So the first spirit was not on earth.
No. But he sent it out to create the whole inhabitants of the earth.
Okay, so
That's
then
why in
that
Genesis,
spirit-
let me explain real quick. That's why in Genesis, the first chapter, it says, and God, the word God there, people will say Elohim, but in the ancient Hebrew, Alahayim, which is powers, God or powers, or gods of the earth. Meaning
It's a plural word.
plural words.
It's not singular. Like people would think that God, meaning himself, the Most High God, but the word there, when you read it in the context, the Hebrew word there is not Allah, which means power of God. The word there is Alahayim, which is plural of saying divine ones or judges or angels.
Yes.
That's what that means. So it was
You asked a deep
it was
question.
multiple powers as a collective that came together and carried out, put together the elements that created, formed the heavens and the earth.
Yes, and everything that
I know what you're saying. It's in alignment to my beliefs. But I don't.
right, because that's the truth of it. That's why every other philosophy took a piece of it from what they understood, and then they went branched out from there.
I always said, a lot of times like use the word God because it's so,
It's a
defined
big.
by so different people,
Yeah.
so almost corrupted to that. But when I use reference to it, I use God more like that. It's like a person's last name.
Yeah.
So rather than God being a being, it's more like just a family. But then back to the tree and the curse. The formula to get out from under the oppressor is to go back to the original truth. Then why is it not being done, or how is it to be done, or how are you getting it
Well,
done?
the plan is in motion. But what you got to understand, written in the Bible, is a prophecy, meaning to tell you what's going to happen in the future. Right? To say it before it happens. But what we're saying before it happens is what God wanted to happen is this. Not all our people are going to get right. It'd be good if all our people got right on the side of right, but he didn't want it. So he's going to take the best of those people and create the world for his people from those righteous people, those good people that he's going to save. That makes sense? Because we're the ones actually got
I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another
Destruction. The winds of destruction. You don't want the destruction. Because there's gonna be a big destruction that takes this white man out of power and puts the wicked of our people. You're gonna hit the reset button on them to where they'll come back to the Lord and the righteous that will obtain salvation. When he reestablishes this world in righteousness under his chosen people, the righteous of these people.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east.
You know what's crazy? How you talk to somebody that believes in Kemet or Pan-Africanism or whatever, and they'll go so deep into that, but you simplify the Bible, and sometimes they still can't get it. I think you can get it though, because this is not as deep
I'm
as
not having a
that.
problem with what you're saying at all.
Right. No, I'm just saying a lot of people that we talk to, they can't get the simplicity of what we're talking about, but they'll go so deep into something else.
Yeah.
Whatever else.
I think.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads.
That's the same angel from the book of Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. The ones that have the mark. But everybody else that don't have the mark of exemption, which means that earn salvation, the name of the Heavenly Father, then they're going to get destroyed. That's why I said, hurt not those of the earth yet, until to those that are exempt get sealed. And that's what we're out here to do, seal the exempt.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Nobody else, just the children of Israel, 144,000 in the 1/3.
That's what Jehovah's Witness are.
Sort of, but it's distorted.
They don't know they're Israel. They
Right.
don't know about Israelites.
Right, their belief is distorted. Most religions are based out of this Bible, but it's distorted in the full truth. This is the full truth.
Yeah, there's a point of clarity. The reason why a lot of dramatic people, it may seem like they don't understand what you guys are saying. That's not really what I don't think really, I talk to people enough. I don't think that they're not understanding it's a different mindset. That, you know, like you talk to just a Christian, right? And you see through the whole Christian scheme, you're trying to relate something else to them, but they still trying to push Christian down your throat.
Right.
And I think that's the clash that often happens.
I'm back up what you're saying, but I notice a lot of people don't want to accept what we're talking about. They don't want to go through the heavy and the negative things that it takes to get to where we're trying to really go. Let me finish. Because a lot of them keep their mind on money and making it in this society.
Yeah, but I'm
That's what Kemet's talking about.
Right, but Kemet is not about that. Kemet is totally not.
Because no, they're talking about still trying to live in the white man's society.
All the people I know. Not at all.
That's what you just said, though. That's what you just said.
No. Y'all misheard me somehow. I said when I talk to Christians,
Yeah, I know.
a lot of Christians go there, but when I talk to Kemet people believe in divine art. That's what my aunt means, that word M-O-N-T. My aunt, my aunt simply means divine art in here. Divine art is original truth. So original truth is that truth that just exists, that God created before He even made mankind and anything else. He created that order of right living, the way it's supposed to interact and behave.
Right.
And then divine order is also social harmony and social balance. That's what Ma'at is, which means that if you do not conform precisely exactly to divine order, then you cause and effect. And cause and effect changes how you live. So let me say it in a different way. If you totally conform to divine order, you have paradoxical living. If you don't absolutely conform to it, then degree by degree changes the quality of life.
Now here's what the Ma'at is, so to say it this way. It's the word of God, the statutes, laws, and commandments that the Heavenly Father set out to give His particular people on how to deal with everybody upon the earth, particularly within your own.
But here's where the conflict comes with humanity. Humanity look at the Bible and say, okay, let's look at the world history timeline. Okay? So if we go to recorded history, we're looking at usually about 6,000 years. Yeah, that's right.
What I've noticed about their argument is the one truth. Whichever history predates the other is the truth.
Yeah,
That's what I noticed of that particular argument from so-called pro-blacks.
I'm embracing that, but let me present something to say to that. If the truth in which the Kemetic group is we're making reference to, right? And then we take the Bible, and then we do a comparison to the Bible and the Kemetic beliefs. But now I'm only talking about one. I'm talking about the content. Right. Okay. I'm not talking about the story, how great you made, all that. I'm talking about the content of what truth is and right living. Okay. If we do a comparison to the absolute correctness of right living, I find no difference there. Okay. They're exactly the same. But now to what you were just saying, sir. But if I look on the timeline of world history, the Kemetic is older than the Bible. The Bible comes, far down on the lineup, right? Right. Then, especially if I'm talking to black people, I would say, look at what we're going through. But yet, look at what your ancestors wrote long before these were written. And then we inject when the European came into the scene. And then we look at particularly the Bible most loved by black people, King James Version of the Bible. That comes from the Catholic Bible. That then we examine where those Bibles come from, and with the King James from the Holy Writ, and then they were just writings from around the world that they had compiled and chose what they were going to put in. But what we don't have, what we know we don't have, is that God's hand did not sent from heaven and say, here's the King James Version, any other version of the Bible.
I got something real quick. Whoa. This is dealing with the Ma'at. This is dealing with the Ma'at. Now the Ma'at had a set of laws, moral divine laws, right? 42, right? And I have them up. Right. All right. The papyrus of Emi, all right, led by Anubis into Duat, and pronouncing her 42 affirmative declarations listed below from Budge's public domain translation of the 42 divine principles of Ma'at. Now here goes, I'm not going to read all of them, but I'm going to read something down. It says, 1, I have not committed sin. Does that even explain what sin is? Like, I have not sinned. But what is sin? According to their law, what is sin? Because according to the Bible, it tells you exactly what sin is. But what does the Ma'at say sin is?
Kemetic beliefs and also actually Native American beliefs as well, simultaneously. But what the sin is a violation against the divine law of God.
But that's the first law, right?
Yeah. Right.
So
it's a violation, understand me correctly now. It's a violation against the divine law of God. Now, to help people understand, I therefore also define crime. Crime is a violation of man's law. Whether it's religious law or whether it's so-called, one of their justice code laws, whatever. So if they're withholding our food to steal my land and my food and everything else, then God hold me accountable to defend and protect, okay? And to keep. And if a thief comes to steal it, then I'll be doing a sin not to obey God by defending and protecting my land and my people. Right. Okay. But a crime would be to even allow them to do it, but to violate their law by going and taking what's mine.
Now let me ask you this.
Crime, God don't care about no crime like that.
Right, he don't care about man's laws.
Right.
Let me ask you this though, because we dealing with order, right? Divine order.
Right.
Judgment is part of order, right? Making decisions on certain matters to make things. Is judgment a part of
I would say to
order?
Contemporary man, it is perceived that way. In actuality, and I think we'll agree with me when I finish. In actuality, if I were to put you in a paradoxical environment where God resides, God is not concerned about no judgment himself in that term. God maintains perfect order.
Everything is perfect and right.
Absolutely.
But everything wasn't perfect and right.
No, but I'm saying with God, everything retained. Ain't nobody messing with God.
Yeah, I'm talking about, we talking about on the planet Earth.
Right, but I'm just
down here.
saying, therefore, actually, it does have to do with it. But when you, again, violate the decree of God, you offset the paradoxical perfection of right living. Therefore, now you must have judgment and even enforce it.
Okay, and so do the Ma'at give particular judgments for whatever sins that you
Let me
commit?
respond to that, to what you're reading, so you get a
Because
clarity.
what I'm reading
Right,
is,
but let me give you
this is
clarity on what
a
you're
set of
reading.
laws that's saying, I have not done these things, I have not did this, I have
Right,
not done
let me
that.
give you clarity.
Now, what is the judgment on
But let
each
me give you
individual sin that
clarity.
you
Let me
commit?
give you clarity first on what you're reading. What you're reading is that you're now in the hall of judgment, and you're standing before the judge. That's where that's coming from. And when you're before the judge, if you lie, you're going to be caught up in a lie. Okay, but if you tell the truth, one of the first things you want to say is your most important statement, right? That's what good argument is. First thing is, hey, first of all, hey, I have not sinned. And then you do the breakdown for that. I ain't killed nobody. I ain't cheated nobody. I haven't been unfair, unjust, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. That is hers. Now, it's a symbolic symbol, and what it just means is that your truth has to be so correct and your actions have to be so righteous that if you weigh it against an ostrich feather, you're going to come out heavier than an ostrich feather, a bundle of stock. Okay? That's a symbolic thing. You know? Now, what that means is basically you're innocent.
Yeah.
And your confession is true. And it's acknowledged, so then you're judged and you go into the native side, you know, the green pastures. Okay? But let's look on the other side. If you're caught up in a lie, and you say, I ain't killed nobody, like you can hide it, now you're in the judgment of the all-seeing, all-knowing, and you think you're still going to deceive the ultimate one? That ain't going to happen. So then there's this beast that devours you where then you go.
But let me ask this, because a lot of people that teach Kemet, they like to say that the Bible, because the Ma'at, the so-called Ma'at predates the Bible, they like to say that the Bible plagiarized from the laws of the Ma'at.
Okay.
But like I said, the reason why I'm asking you these questions is because when we read these so-called divine laws, it's reading from this perspective of, I have not done these things. Yet, we need to know, all right, so if you did do these things, what would be the judgment, what would be the correct judgment if you did those things? And that's what separates the Bible from the Ma'at.
I can assure you.
Like for instance, let me give you one. According to the Ma'at in ancient Kemet, if two men were found together lying with each other, committing that act, what was the judgment according to the Ma'at?
Let's say that's sexual.
What's the judgment on that according to the Ma'at? We could tell you what the Bible say, but where is it according to the Ma'at? What was the judgment, the proper judgment according to that divine law on that specific act?
In all fairness?
According to the Ma'at.
No.
According
Say
to the
what
Ma'at.
just for me. In all fairness, I hope you really hear me on this. Those 42 are called 42 laws of mind, okay?
Right.
They were not 42 laws of mind. Later, Europeans interpret our writings and things, and they inject words, change it, and then they put it where they want. Those are called the 42 admissions of my heart. Big difference between law